Jonathan Moffie is the Gen AI wizard who's turning the ad world on its head and dragging small businesses along for the ride. He's on a mission to prove that even your local alpaca farm can dominate primetime TV with smarter, faster AI-powered ads. Privacy? Walled gardens? He's not just breaking them down, he's making them work for the little guys. If you've ever wondered how ads are getting so smart they might start roasting you mid-scroll, this episode is your front row seat to the future of marketing chaos.
Deserve to win when it matters most. Facing multi-billion-dollar bet the company litigation? No problem. That's why we're here. Troutman Amin, LLP is a true legal powerhouse.
Welcome back to the ADOTAT Show. I'm your host, Pesach Lattin, part-time rabble-rouser, full-time advertising whisperer, and your guide through the chaos of media and tech. Today we've got a special guest, Jonathan Moffie, the Gen AI guru and CTV trailblazer who's turning small businesses into advertising powerhouses. Jonathan's here to talk about privacy, walled gardens, and why your next ad might be just smarter than you are. Stick around. This one's going to be a mix of brilliant insights, a few laughs, and knowing me, at least one question that may come pause and say, did he really ask that? Let's get into it. Jonathan, first of all, how are you? Feeling like the oracle of CTV today, or just the guy who's trying to convince 1,000 small businesses their local alpaca farm deserves a primetime ad spot?
Hey, great to be here. Doing well. We just had a big launch. We built a white label ads manager for a DSP that launched today. Had some press around it for end screen ads. They're built on top of beeswax, so we did that integration as well. Very exciting.
So what can you tell me about Gen AI? It's your brainchild. Is this really a creative revolution for SMBs? Are we about to witness the digital equivalent of karaoke night where no one can sing, but everyone gets the mic?
Oh, it's 100% a revolution. To take a step back, about a year ago, the goal at my previous startup I was at, we tried to build the easiest ads manager for CTV to get millions of SMBs into streaming as streaming audiences grow, like Meta does for search and social. Well, social. Google does it for search. And we built it. We made it 10 steps to advertise, a lot easier than any other platform that were like 25, 30 steps, a lot of complicated processes. And then we started meeting with small businesses, and they all had the same two problems. We'd go, all right, upload your ad. And they'd go, I don't have a video ad. I'm like, all right, well, we have the cheapest creative services team, $250. We'll come back in a week, and then we'll launch your campaign. They're like, okay, great. We come back, they upload the ad. They get into the campaign manager and they go, what the hell is a DMA? I'm like, good question. What the hell is a DMA to a real pizza shop owner? Like, they don't know. So
Right.
that at that time gave me the aha moment. It's like, okay, what if we use, this is when Midjourney was really getting big and ChatGPT had just launched. And I thought, what if we use Gen AI to generate the commercials to remove that problem and then built AI-powered campaign setup so that we could handle all of the zip code level targeting, picking the right audience to reach, etc. with AI. So all the small business owner had to do, generate their commercial, enter their credit card and their budget, and launch on TV. So fast forward to March, that's what we did. We launched in beta, dozens of commercials, law firms, fitness influencers. And yeah, it's been really great.
So did you build your own AI or are you using a pre-existing one?
So I like to call us an AI DJ, remixing the best of the different LLMs.
Okay.
Basically, we have a strategic partnership starting with 11 Labs. They're a big AI
Great company.
unicorn. They've raised like $250 million. We use ChatGPT. We use a little bit of Gemini for some audience and Google Maps data. We also use Suno for Gen AI music. We kind of remix all that together and build a purpose-built CTV commercial.
So you've also promised that small business can get on CTV for as little as $500. So what's the pitch for Linda's Cupcake Emporium when she's worried it might run after Breaking Bad?
Yeah, so the thing we've realized, you can go to our site, streamer.ai, and just start generating immediately. We want to reduce friction at all costs. And when we have people come to the site, they get very excited that they can actually visualize what their commercial, what their business could look like on TV. So that gets them really excited, gets the juices flowing, and then you can use our editor to kind of make it even better, make sure it's perfect for TV. And then we automatically analyze the context of the business when we're generating the ad. So for the cupcake shop, we will say, okay, cupcakes. We'll analyze the type of audience that would consume cupcakes. And then we actually automatically match them with contextually relevant audience segments on the campaign. So we make sure we only show them to the right audiences that are in the mood for cupcakes. We're purpose-built. Retail locations are definitely the bread and butter, your favorite restaurant, your favorite bar. Obviously, law firms are using us quite a bit. So the SMBs that you would think would be on TV. We see a lot of ad tech platforms going and trying to generate their ads. I see PubMatic, I see Magnite, Trade Desk. Those aren't the best ads yet. Building them for the ad tech platforms. We'll get there.
So with Gen AI churning out ads faster than a toddler with a finger painting set, how do we avoid turning out ads faster than a toddler with a finger painting set? How do we avoid turning ad campaigns into Jackson Pollocks?
Ads that make you want to gouge your eyes out, so are we. At Origin, we've remastered TV advertising to actually capture your attention and deliver real results. Ditch the same old, and elevate your brand with dynamic, captivating ad experiences. Expect better, expect Origin.
Yeah, so, our V1 is what you're looking at right now. I'm actually quite sad, I'll be honest, at this point with it. The good news is we already have released our V2 in beta, where our creative gets a lot better. It's more transitions, more text on screen, more dynamic overlays, call to actions. And I'll share that. There's a link. Anyone can sign up and start testing it. And then we actually did a bit of a breakthrough. I said we're remixing different LLMs for the commercials. We've actually started working with, I don't know if you're familiar with like Runway ML, Luma Labs, obviously OpenAI has Sora, which hasn't been released to the public. So we started getting access, mainly starting with Runway. We realized when you go into those tools and you generate a hamburger shop commercial, it's like hamburgers in outer space with rockets, and it's like way too surreal. It's not good for a CTV commercial. So our engineers have been trying to figure out, how do we pare this back? How do we make subtle updates to the commercial to actually make it good for CTV? And then when you do that, that's where the magic happens. So we have examples of that.
Yeah, here's the one I got. It made me one for ESPN.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty good. I mean, it did this in like less than a minute.
Good.
That's pretty cool.
So in the search, it's definitely powered by Google Maps. So if you started typing, ESP, it probably
and it added does it always add the QR code to the end?
Yep, we have a branded QR
that's pretty
code
awesome
service.
too. Wow. So imagine watching.
I'd love to show you the latest and greatest if you want me to demo.
Yeah, sure. Well, let's do that in a second.
Okay.
So imagine watching Succession and suddenly seeing an ad for a luxury helicopter rental inspired by Kendall Royd's midlife crisis. Genius, are we one bad algorithm away for hyper-personalization ads that roast us harder than Comedy Central?
So you're hitting on what I think will be the biggest impact Gen AI will have on advertising. So another product we released, we call it Gen AI Infinite. So I know AppLovin's getting a ton of attention right now. I was at Whirl.
Yeah, I just spoke to them yesterday, and I'm interviewing Whirl in a week again because they just purchased them. Yeah, their owner, their former.
I was head of product at Whirl. Worked with AppLovin on the biggest synergy to basically make Whirl into their CTV SSP and extend performance marketing campaigns to CTV. So one of AppLovin's, everyone's thinking about, what is AppLovin doing? What's their differentiator that's really driving all of that value? And one of the main things that I saw while I was there is they had this giant team of creatives who, for a campaign with DoorDash, would create 8 to 10 versions of the commercial, changing subtle things like the colors of the ad, the call to actions, etc. Run them on small percentage of traffic on different line items. And then whatever one performed the best, they would shift the budget over to automatically. And then that would win and it would perform the best return on ad spend or ROAS. So with Gen AI, it completely changes the game for this type of performance-driven optimization. We could make infinite variations of a commercial and not only just change like colors, you can change the mood, a funny commercial versus a serious commercial. You can change the voice completely. We support over 32 different languages. You could change the frames 100%. You could change the music, etc. You get it. It really is a game changer in hyper-personalized targeting and making sure the ad is reaching one-to-one the right user to
retail media in 2024. It's like juggling ads, budgets, and a whole lot of guesswork. Sound familiar?
Enter Incremental, the marketing measurement tool that tells you what's working without the spaghetti mess. We're not here to guess. We're here to measure smartly, incremental, because your campaigns deserve answers, not assumptions. Visit incremental.com and start marketing like you mean it.
Also, I noticed that ad fill rates on fast channels hover at a tragic 38%. Can Gen AI fix that without filling the remaining 62% with ads for air fryers or endless PSAs about saving the whales?
Well, I would argue that those are much better than "we will be right back" for 7 minutes in your mid-roll pod. That's what you get right now, and it is absolutely brutal. If you ask a CTV publisher, they're definitely super sad about that. So
yeah, that was why I'm tired of seeing the "we'll be right back" screen during my Bob Ross binges. You know, I mean, honestly.
100%. So
I'm going to start painting these angry clouds soon.
So our first kind of like product market fit has been building these white label Gen AI ads managers for CTV publishers who, quite frankly, are fed up with trying to just plug in yet another reseller SSP to increase their programmatic fill rates, and nothing happens. It's still 38%. So we started, I don't want to put the words in their mouth, but we started with launching Reach TV, their own ads manager. They are the largest airport TV network in the world, and now they have a way for all the airport bars, restaurants, etc. throughout the country to come in, generate an ad for the Shake Shack in LaGuardia, and launch it on Reach TV screens. And this gives them a completely new business line where it's direct demand on top of their programmatic spend. And we really see this as this awesome way for CTV publishers to basically build your own walled garden. I know walled garden is looked at negatively, but guess what? Walled gardens collect all the money. So I'd love to be a walled garden if you have the opportunity.
Right. You've suggested that smaller publishers should build their own walled gardens. Isn't that like handing a garden spade to someone in the middle of a desert and saying, good luck growing roses?
You know, it's not, it doesn't just plug and play. You definitely, the Gen AI obviously helps reduce the friction, but you need to have a strategy. You need to have a little bit of making sure your sales team is armed with this new tool so they can go out to these SMBs and Reach TV's case and actually say, hey, now you have this way. Reach TV, by the way, has NFL live games every week. Pretty great opportunity to get on the NFL as a business faster and more cost effective than ever. Listen, there's, riches in niches. I think there's a really great opportunity to build a very solid walled garden business, again, on top of your programmatic. We're not charging so much that you can't recover your spend on building this Gen AI ads manager pretty quickly, as long as you build this net new base of advertisers on your platform.
So let's fast forward 5 years. Does Gen AI make CT advertising a utopia for small businesses, or will we all look back and say, wow, that got messy fast?
I 100% think it's going to be, I don't know about utopia, but it will definitely be super effective. If you're not messing around and you're not starting to experiment with Gen AI, you're going to be left behind. It's going to revolutionize advertising first. Advertising is always on the forefront of technical changes, and Gen AI is obviously the biggest one we've seen in quite a while. It's already revolutionizing not only creatives, but optimizing campaign setup and delivery, and it's moving fast.
So speaking of messy, let's move on to privacy. Privacy in 2020 feels like trying to hold sand in your hands. It's messy, fleeting, and it somehow always ends up in places it shouldn't be. Jonathan, I want to ask you, is privacy in ad tech truly a priority?
This is an interesting one. I tend to go towards this might be really niche, like Ben Thompson of Certecry, one of my favorite tech writers and blogs I've read and really followed for years. I don't believe, going back to when Meta used to get a lot of crap for what they do, I don't believe it's as privacy invasive as it's painted to be. They're really just actually doing a service when you get a contextually relevant ad that you didn't know you were in the market for. And now you're like, okay, this is really interesting. I mean, Instagram's the best use case for it. You do see, I find myself buying things I see on Instagram because they serve me something that I never thought I wanted until I saw it. So I think that's a good exchange. I think Fast and the rise of Fast is proving that people are hungry to cut costs. I think that's really clear. Fast has been a great alternative that's doing that in the CTV space. And that exchange, you need to monetize it in some way. And advertising has always been the best vehicle.
So if you could reimagine those endless consent pop-ups, would you go with, and this is a multiple choice, A, we promise not to sell your data too much, B, click accept if you've just given up, or C, privacy light, stalking you responsibilities since 2023?
I would do none of the above. Get rid of them, and you're getting a great value exchange, free
Right.
premium content, especially on CTV, to be served relevant ads, and we're only going to get better. I mean, imagine the world where there is no proper targeting. You're going to get highly irrelevant ads, and it's horrible user experience.
Do you think the consent pop-ups might actually do worse than actually help?
Oh,
Kind of like a
100%.
bad Tinder date. It's overused and suspiciously vague.
If you go on a site in Europe, no shots at Europe. I love Europe. I just had a few meetings with some folks internationally. Paul Gubbins is one of our advisors, one of the great CTV thought leaders out in London. But geez, there's overregulation, 100%.
Yeah, you have what, 5 consent, GPDR, whatever
Yeah.
British ones there are.
It's insane.
Don't insult the king pop-up, something like that.
Exactly.
Here's the real question, though. And I've asked this multiple times of people, do users actually care about privacy, or are we just all pretending to? Let's be honest. Does anyone really want fewer ads or just better ones?
Exactly. Better ads. I think you even see with Mark Zuckerberg changing his tune. He's finally realizing that they were on an apology tour for many years, and they just ended up making it worse. Now he's full, he's based, he's full Zuck, he's got the cool hair and the gold chains, and Meta's stock is ripping, and they're not apologizing anymore, and they're just continuing to build the greatest ads business on earth. And we want to use Gen AI to help other CTV publishers kind of get a piece of that growth.
So do you think cookies are misunderstood villains or data vampires?
I think a scapegoat. Again, I think basically you should leave it up to the user. I don't think users and viewers really care. I think as long as things are relevant and they can actually save some money and watch premium content, they don't care about the tracking.
Oatmeal, raisin, or chocolate chip?
Ooh, I just had an oatmeal raisin cookie last night, so the biases there was really good.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
Yes.
I love oatmeal raisin. AI claims to solve privacy issues, but isn't it also the smartest snoop in the room?
I don't wade too deep. I don't know how AI is solving privacy. I guess you're just going to do contextually based targeting rather than like cookie-based targeting or something, for instance. But again, you see where I stand on the privacy piece. I think AI is definitely going to solve a lot of relevant ad issues, and that's what you want, more relevant ads.
So I want to go back into a little bit walled gardens, the gilded cages of ad techs. It sounds fancy, but are they really luxury suites of ad tech or just velvet-lined prisons for advertisers? Is the promise of control and premium data worth the price? Or are we just signing for a timeshare we can never escape?
Yeah, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. The walled gardens obviously just continue to hoover up the majority of ad spend, with Amazon just being a pretty recent new play, and they're already like, drastic growth. So, they are doing things right. But, what we argue is you can still build your own walled garden, and you're not going to have the scale of Meta. No one has the 4 billion users I think they have globally. I might be wrong, and it might be even more. But you can build a nice niche where you have more data about your users logged in. They're getting a great exchange. They know exactly what they're buying. I think it's a really great value exchange.
Do you think that small business can actually afford to play in these gardens?
They definitely are. If you saw, I was at Yahoo, which was owned by Verizon Media, obviously owned by proper Verizon back in 2020. And that's when everyone started boycotting Facebook because of privacy and misinformation concerns. All the, top 500 global brands, including Verizon. And guess what happened in the next earnings? Meta's revenue went up, and that's because more SMBs spent than ever before during COVID on Meta. And they don't care about 500 advertisers. They care about the 10 million they have on their platform. So that's why they're a juggernaut. You can't cancel Meta because they have so many SMBs.
So what do you think that a true ecosystem that benefited everyone would look like then?
I don't think there's always winners and losers. Benefit everyone is it's a tough one to pull off. But I do think, obviously, more transparency, fewer resellers, publishers. I think it's always a good call for a publisher to take more direct control over their monetization. You can't just, plug and play all these different ad tech platforms and think that it's going to work. You need to build a bit of a sales muscle. You need to have an understanding of your marketing. And when you have partners, you need to be more in control of them and be as direct to your advertisers as possible.
So go to the best part of the show, which I think I do to torture people. Imagine you're stranded on a desert island, no Wi-Fi, no escape, but there's one CTV channel looping ads nonstop. What is the one ad you could watch forever without losing your mind? And which ad would make you sprint into the shark-infested waters, arms flailing, just to escape it?
One ad I could watch forever.
I think it's the Calm ad. That's for me.
Oh, that was good, the recent one during the election. That was really good. I will say the ad that's stuck out to me most throughout my 12 plus year career in and out of ad tech was the first time I was watching Hulu, I don't know, a decade ago. And I paused it to go to the bathroom, and I got the Charmin, first ever Charmin pause ad saying, hey, get some toilet paper while you're at it. I was like, wow, that stopped me in my tracks. I took a screenshot, sent it to everybody. We need to start doing this.
And now you just use Charmin or didn't do anything?
I do. It's great.
And what's the ad that would make you jump into the water?
I mean, it's the promos, not the ads. We will be right back. It's the slates.
For me, I think it might be that it's the Kia Soul. What was it? The hamsters. I liked it, but could you imagine seeing that forever?
Yeah.
So you can bring 5 people to the island with you, but one must be an advertising exec. Who are you bringing, and what's their job? Chief coconut gatherer or leader of a morale-boosting Jingles?
Interesting. So I can bring 5 people with me. One is an ad exec.
I guess it could be somebody you really hate, I guess.
I don't hate anyone. I'm a startup. I need everyone's help to grow. Let's see. Maybe I'll bring Terry Kawaja to figure out when we're ready to sell this thing. He'll give us a bunch of time to figure out the streamer M&A strategy.
You could probably sell the island.
Yeah, he could probably figure out how to get us back.
So anyone else?
No, the rest will be, I'm going to say, obviously my girlfriend, my giant Cane Corso dog, Zuma, 130 pounds. It keeps me entertained. Yeah.
Your only chance at rescue is creating a Gen AI powered ad that screams, save me. So what's the pitch, and does it include a QR code dangling from a palm tree?
Yeah, it's going to also, so the most effective thing we have is the IP conversion pixel. So hopefully I'll have that already, some foresight.
That's amazing that you managed to make a pitch for your product in here.
I'm always trying
that itself is creative enough right there.
Yeah. And hopefully that's on some kind of either some defense site, and they can come and rescue us because they can use the conversion pixel to figure out where we are. That would be great.
So you're stuck with one type of ad for eternity. What is the worst? A local car dealership ad with a guy screaming, come on down. B, a 6-second ad that always says nothing but ends up with a haunting jingle. Or C, a painfully awkward celebrity endorsement for a product they clearly don't use.
Definitely the celebrity endorsement. I think there's a lot of problems with when you're not authentic and trying to sell something. I love the local car dealerships, actually. Local's great.
If you're watching the sunset, what is one ad that wouldn't ruin the moment? Does it include an AI-generated voice trying to sound soothing?
Yeah, you already said it. The Calm ad. I don't know if that was AI voice or not, but I know 11 Labs does that. That definitely has really nice soothing voice. I'm pitching again. We'll actually automatically, if you try to generate an ad for a yoga studio, we'll automatically match it with a contextually relevant, soothing yogi type voice from 11 Labs and generate a more meditative track in Suno. So you'll get that meditation in your Gen AI commercial.
So if you had to write a tagline for your island campaign, what would it be? And do you think the sharks would click learn more?
I think about sharks far too often as a surfer. Sharks definitely like to be nosy. They kind of do lead with their nose and their mouth, which is it's a bit scary. They check stuff out. Definitely something I think about a lot. Now I'm already distracted because the waves are supposed to be good tomorrow.
You're thinking of surfing?
Yeah, the waves are supposed to be good tomorrow.
With the weather out there, it should be.
Yeah, lots of fun. Keeps me sane. Getting beat up by the ocean actually helps calm me down.
So let's leave the island and let's get personal. You built a career turning innovative ideas into industry-shaking products, but tell me, who were you before this? The kid who always rewired the TV remote, or the one selling lemonade with a loyalty card program?
Yeah. So, outside of here, it's obvious I'm a surfer, dog dad, hanging out with my girlfriend, trying to find the next awesome surf break. Let's see. But before that, I'm from Youngstown, Ohio, Rust Belt city in Ohio. Made my way out to Manhattan for 14 years, never looked back. Now I'm LA. Yeah, I'm more on I'm a product guy, more on the sales, marketing, always trying to learn, always tinkering, and the engineers on the team are the ones really building the innovative stuff.
So when did you realize you were destined for this industry? Was it a eureka moment, or more like accidentally stumbling into it while trying to do something completely different?
Well, actually, I have a funny anecdote there. So I was at Time Inc. I was a producer, editor, kind of the predator for some live shows for People, Sports Illustrated. I mean, some of this stuff doesn't exist anymore, but we had a change in leadership. The new COO came in, Jen Wong. She's now the COO of Reddit. And she said to me, "Hey, you're doing like video product type stuff. You're our new head of video product." And I'm like, "Cool. What's product?" She gave me a book on Agile and all these different things. Read this, learn up. And then I kind of led a wily band of pirates, a 4-person product and engineering team. And we built this great digital video business at Time Inc., a legacy publisher. It was the best business that actually was the reason Meredith acquired that company.
So who's been your Yoda in the business, and what's the best lesson they ever taught you?
So I have an advisor that works with us on Streamer. His name's Burhan Hamid. He's the CTO of Time, and he was on that team I just mentioned. He was the engineering manager. And anytime we had major problems, especially when I was younger, I was pulling weekends ahead of a big launch. We launched the second fast channel ever on the Roku channel. I was launching fast channels before they were called fast channels, one for People TV. And I'd be stressed out on like Sunday, right before the Monday launch and press and all this stuff was going to happen, making sure everything's great. Burhan just never rattled. It just, no matter what, we'd have the biggest fire drill ever going on, and everything's broken. And he's just like, "Yeah, we'll fix it. It's okay." I'm like, "Oh, what? What are you talking about? It's all for naught." And no, just stay calm, figure it out. Anything can be fixed. You just have to prioritize the right thing to fix at the right time.
Do you think that's helped you with fires?
Yeah, definitely. It's the you have to stay calm and just look for the root. What's broken? All right, we'll fix it. At the end of the day, this is how much we lost. Stay data driven, but we'll build this feature and then we're going to gain it all back, and just not get too rattled and too broken up by any individual thing. You got to keep the long game in mind.
So every career has a failure that ends up being a gold mine. What is yours?
Ooh, this is easy. We talked about AppLovin earlier. So I got laid off or ousted for the first time in my career. Moved out to LA to join Whirl as their head of product. And then AppLovin was starting to take over and get their tentacles into the Whirl business. And then about 8 months in, they ousted the whole leadership team, including the founders. I was not ousted yet. I was going to be interim COO. And then I helped oversee one of the biggest synergy launches, like I said, kind of expanding the AppLovin performance demand to CTV. I oversaw revamping pricing and packaging. And then the day of the very large layoffs, where they laid off most of the Whirl team, they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, you're laid off too." So I get to see AppLovin stock skyrocketing right now, and know that my equity package that I lost is currently worth like $9 million plus that I'll never see until we build Streamer up to a great, magnificent company and we get it all back.
And it gets sold to AppLovin?
Hey, I like that. That's a true revenge, but in a nice way story.
Are you still a Nets fan?
I was never a Nets fan. I did cover the Nets for the New York Times for basically less than a year. There was a bit of Hurricane Sandy then, so it was some interesting times getting to the games. I realized that journalist life wasn't for me around that time when I was like game 47 in the bowels of the Barclays Center, eating hot dogs and cupcakes, like quickly writing my game recap story and living in my rat-infested Upper East Side apartment. So I ended up jumping ship to Sports Illustrated to do video, and that's how I kind of got into this life. I'm a Cavs fan. I was born in Cleveland and from Ohio, so unfortunately the Browns, we had some LeBron James, so we had some good runs. The Cavs are good right now, too.
If you could pick one superpower for your career, what would it be? Perfect vision into ad trends, or just the ability to never open another email with the subject line, "just checking in"? So let's be honest, ignoring emails is my dream.
I mean, I have one thing that, not being a coder, I can really mess a little bit with CSS, but being a product guy and not being a coder has always been my kryptonite. I'm always trying to do courses online and teach myself But then like, I'll be like, hey, Frank, or one of our great engineers, here's the Jira ticket. And he's like, oh, I already built it. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, it took me like 8 weeks to build like the calculator app on a like a Udemy course. And he could build like new Gen AI ads manager in like 24 hours. So I realized then that's not for me. Let me focus on product sales and marketing.
So you want to suddenly become a supercoder?
Supercoder. So I could just do it all myself. Just put it all in my back and build it all.
Then your employee would have a job.
No, we'd build faster.
You still keep them on for wit and
we
good
build
times?
faster. We build faster.
If you had a giant billboard that billions of people could see, what would it see? And would it include your LinkedIn bio, or is that too much?
The action is the juice.
What does that mean to you?
Have you seen Heat? The movie Heat with Al Pacino, Robert De Niro.
A long time ago, of course.
One of the best bank robbery scenes, just action-packed. And they talk to, I think De Niro turns to Tom Sizemore. He's still in there going on this really risky job. He's still in, or, you have kids, you can back out, you have the money. And Tom Sizemore says, the action is the juice. And I believe that's the way you should tackle your career. Try to figure out something where just doing the thing is what gets you excited. Building Streamer this last year has been the most fun I've ever had in business. Just building it. The action is the juice.
Yeah, I just Googled what happened to Tom Sizemore. Let's just say he's not going to be doing any more movies.
Yes, that's true. And in that movie, he gets killed too. So it's maybe not the best philosophy. I'm a surfer, like you said. Like, I think my next line would be from Point Break when, what's his name? Bodhi, anyways, the actor is...
Was it in both movies? There's
no,
lines?
it's similar line. Taking risks. I love a little risk. I'm not going to lie.
So I'm going to try something new that I've never done before. We're going to shift gears and we're going to do a lightning round. It's no data awards, just rapid fire questions to see what makes you tick. Are you ready?
Let's do it. Just had a little more coffee.
What has been the best year of your life? And don't say this one because we're in it.
I was just going to say it's this year. It is, though. Like, I finally, I had the whole ousting out of AppLovin/Whirl. I then did a year in a 5-person startup, learned a lot, direct selling, lots of fun, and then had the aha moment for Streamer, building it with some of my favorite people in sunny California. It's amazing.
So I'm going to put you back on a desert island again, but you get 3 songs. What are they? And does one come with a secretly double as an ad jingle? Because if it's Nationwide is on your side, we need to have a conversation.
3 songs. Bruce Springsteen comes
now
to mind.
I have that in my mind. Nationwide is on your side.
Yeah, you said it too, and I sung it in my head, and then I lost my train of thought.
Which proves jingles do work.
Yeah, for sure. Bruce Springsteen, Youngstown, just because, I grew up in Youngstown. Love Bruce Springsteen. Let's see. There's this song. I don't remember the artist's name, but it's called September. It's just a great song with my girlfriend and surfing
Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Stuff like that.
That
No,
one?
James something.
The one from the set.
No, it's more recent. I think James Taylor I love too. James Arthur. It's James Arthur.
And why that list of people? Or was it the only 3 people you could think of right now?
The only 3 people I can think of right now. I'm pretty sleep deprived. Like I said, there's this crazy windstorm and then a big launch. I never really sleep much ahead of a big launch.
If you're not sleep deprived, why are you even in ad tech?
Exactly. I'm on the second pot of coffee already. 10 a.m. here.
If you had to run an ad campaign for a product you absolutely hate, what would it be? And you can't say Crocs. Is there already a cultural phenomenon?
I definitely
and
hate
I hate
Crocs.
them too. I hate Crocs. They're like diapers
you keep
for
saying
feet.
Stuff that really distracts me.
I call them diapers for feet.
Yeah,
because that's what they are.
Oh man, I gotta look around to be able to come up. Well, I guess maybe I should. A Roomba. Like, it's so funny. Roomba is like the biggest love-hate product of all time.
Does it actually work? I've never seen one that isn't pounding against a dork.
You always end up doing way more work to get the Roomba to work than the Roomba actually vacuums your place. Like, I'm always picking up stuff and moving it out of its way. It gets stuck on the carpet. It's flipped over. The dog's freaking out. It's just a complete mess. But the idea of it always still comes back. It's like, oh yeah, it's just going to vacuum the place without me doing anything. And it's just a lie. It's a farce. It just doesn't work. I think I wrote something in TV Rev about the Roomba. That's how much it's on top of my mind. Interesting. Another one that sounds good. Again, but I'm all about, I think I have the Roomba because I'm all about trying to be on the cutting edge, on the forefront. Gen AI is not perfect yet, but we're here and we're iterating and we're making it better.
Are you saying Gen AI is the Roomba of tech?
Well, my Roomba doesn't get any updates. We're constantly shipping updates. This Roomba's just sucked since I've gotten it. There's been no update. I don't want to get new hardware. That's what's good about software. We can constantly iterate on it.
Yeah, I don't have Roomba. I have children. It works a lot better.
Love it. Good.
Your secret obsession. What is one thing people wouldn't expect about you to geek out? And if it secretly embarrass them, we won't tell anybody.
Oh, yeah. Not going to tell anyone. Oh, man.
Unless it's bird watching, then we're absolutely telling everyone.
All right. So when I was a kid, this is another funny thing about me. I was a double major in history and philosophy. Great for ad tech. Great to be a technology CEO. Actually was, though. Spoiler alert.
All those liberal arts courses, right?
Writing and strategic thinking and just grinding through 30-page, well-researched papers is actually useful. But so I say that because I did a Gettysburg reenactment as a kid, and I'm just an absurd history buff. Dressed up when I was very young. I'm again from Ohio, obviously the North, but I was so young, and I watched the movie Gettysburg, and they really portrayed the South, and Robert E. Lee is great. I probably should not say this. I might get canceled on the podcast, but when I was 7, I thought the South was the noble ones, and
minus the slavery.
No, of course. South was wrong. I'm obviously Team North. I'm from Ohio, all that stuff. But anyways, I did a reenactment. You dressed up as soldiers. You had to sleep in tents, and you had to eat this really hard beef jerky. It was great. So big battle and military and history buff.
So finally, if your life were an ad campaign, what would the tagline be? And more importantly, would a Cannes Lion or just a participation trophy?
But it goes back to what we asked before. The action is the juice. That's what
you're just going to go with that again?
It is. It means, just get after it. And if you're really grinding and you're enjoying it, you're doing the right thing and you'll make money. But it's not easy. It's going to be hard.
Yeah, I haven't asked this in a while, so I'll ask you before we go. If you could send yourself a time-traveling text message to yourself, and when you start in the industry, what is the one thing you'd say? And not the juice thing again.
I mean, do everything. Look at what your boss is doing. The stuff that they hate doing and keep putting off, do that thing. Take weekends, do it then. Work 14 hours a day. You have to grind if you want to be successful.
Jonathan Moffie just proved that even your grandma's cookie shop can outsmart Wall Street with some Gen AI magic. From turning walled gardens into small biz paradises to making privacy less of a headache, he's shaking up the ad world like never before. But before you rush to create your next alpaca farm blockbuster, a big thanks to our sponsors, Troutman Amin LLP. Because legal stuff shouldn't be a nightmare. Let them handle the jargon while you focus on those killer ads. Origin, originmedia.tv, your go-to for turning wild media dreams into reality. Check them out and elevate your media game. Don't forget our motto, stay bold, stay curious, and know more than you did yesterday.